So there is a new wave of teacher awakening, and it's happening like literally now as this influx of full moon, supermoon energy, planets in retrograde, like Lionsgate, it's come up with a massive surge, and for good reason as well, because it's blasting all the blocks out the way and people are being slammed. People are awakening. It's chaos, but chaos brings very, very big powers of potential when it comes to creation. So it's kind of that chaos that we need to kind of really like amp things up. And I spoke a lot about this in my previous video. I am going to be talking a lot about the Lionsgate in this video, even though I'm not going to be pinpointing it to dates as such. I'm going to be talking about Lionsgate and the energy of that and the frequency of it, how to work with it quite a lot in this video. But I really want to focus in and zone in on a new wave of teacher awakening. And I just want to share the importance of that, of really keeping that momentum flowing forward now, because there's many of you that are actually feeling like a massive shift coming online, and it's a little bit uncomfortable and it brings quite a lot of anxiety. Why? Because your purpose, your mission, everything like that you came here with is now saying, right, I'm coming into the world and I've got something to share. Okay, so there's many of you that might feel like I want to start expressing that. I want to maybe start doing my own YouTube channel. I want to become a teacher. I want to hold cacao ceremonies. I want to teach. I want to share. I want to write a book. There could be a million ways that you are feeling this kind of like antsiness. And it's kind of like all this energy comes in and you kind of build to this crescendo. And then it's so much that you come to procrastination and then you don't know where to start. You know what I mean? So that's usually what happens when these big portal energy surges come in. Now, August is huge for this because, like I say, we've come out into the Lion's Gate. Okay, that opened up end of July. And then like we went straight into that full moon, super moon, where I think today is actually possibly a new moon. I'm not sure. I'm not even going to get stuck into it, but like there's a lot going on. And then, of course, when we get to the end of August, there's another super full moon. And within that, there's all these planets in retrograde. This has happened for an absolute purposeful gift for you because it's put the flames under our arse, which is very Sekhmet vibes, which is very lioness, which is very Lionsgate. And it's basically surged up, burnt our bums, and we're like, boom, we're moving forward. And awakening can be a little bit hectic. But either way, whether you are a spiritual teacher, whether you are a mother, whether you're a business owner, whatever, you are an ascended master in physical form. So your most natural, innate, biggest superpower is that of a manifester. We are natural masters of manifestation, right? We just have forgotten that, right? So what's happened is all of this memory has come up and you now know that it's time to kind of go out there, and it can be quite frenetic. And it's just a case of just like coming and starting to unpack it, coming down into base camp and unpacking that and asking questions of like, you know, what am I here for? You know, what are my gifts and abilities? What do I actually want to do in this life? Do you know what I mean? Is it what I'm doing now or is it something completely different? This year is the turnstile of this. Many of you have planted seeds prior to this, and you're going to start to see or get an inkling of the buds starting to open. Might not be calling it a full blossom yet, but it's going to be very, very soon. And those of you at the beginning of your journeys of kind of understanding that you are this ascended master, it matters not. We're all at the same point, because even me as a teacher, I'm reawakening in this now moment, and I'm now starting to unlock brand new gifts and abilities that I knew that I had, but I was just waiting for the timing to come online. And now I'm going in a completely different direction. So when we want to go out and share our stuff, the first thing we do is we compare ourselves to others and we go, wow, that teacher's like really good, or that person's doing so well. I couldn't possibly even try and do that. I'm not as good as that. And then you start to set yourself up for failure. But we need to understand that each and every one of us has a unique gift and skill set that we agreed to bring through in this now time, which is why this surge of energy has come up so powerfully to kind of bring you out in the full expression of you, full on, full out, abundant, happy, joyful, creating, right? So that is my mission in this life, to bring as many who are open to kind of receiving these teachings to help people remember. And that's part of my process as well. I never stop remembering. It's like I never arrive, because there's always a layer and a layer and a layer. So like that's kind of like where we're at, kind of really, really stepping into the highest potential of who we are and finally bringing something into physical form, right? Now, The Lion's Gate. I'm going to talk a little bit about this because I have actually been off radar for quite some time, going into my own personal process. And to do that, I've had to go into stillness and reflection. So I've actually been off the radar for a good couple of months. So I'm kind of like catching up with the Lion's Gate, but I just want to talk about the Lion's Gate in general, right? So the Lion's Gate, of course, we know it's connected to lions. It's also deeply connected to the star lines, deeply connected to Sirius and Orion, and we can go all into that. But I'm more interested in how do we work with this frequency, embody it, and bring it into your life so it can actually create something that is tangible that you can see, feel, touch, and really like, you know, enjoy the success of that as a master manifester, as a creator, right? So with the lion energy, okay, I'm going to now bring that into the Sphinx, okay, because obviously the Sphinx is one of the star temples in the world, which is very deeply aligned to the Egyptian star, the Lion Gate, the star gates, and all that kind of thing. So, you know, of course, Egypt as well, it's all to do with the stars, as we know. But more importantly, what is the Sphinx all about, right? The Sphinx is about mission and purpose, right? As a stone being, of which I've had many long channeled conversations with this being, and for me, he comes through as a grandpa energy, and we have these long wisdom chats, you know, but he is a keeper of all libraries, okay? So when you stand in front of the Sphinx, for me, he's massive. He's so powerful, right? The energy is immense. Now, when you tap into the frequency and you have a conversation, you always work with the infinity symbol, because remember, the Lion's Gate is also 8-8. If you turn the 8 on the side, it's the infinity symbol. So when you stand in front of the Sphinx in your mind's eye, or if you're with me in Egypt, we would do it in physical, we run that infinity symbol and we connect with this powerful energy of the stone being. And then as you do that, you open up the pathway for conversation. Now, the Sphinx holds every single bit of information about your previous times, this time, future times, all dimensions, all directions, right? Two places, two halls and libraries, as I call them. You can access the Akashic records through the Sphinx, which is all about your soul journeys, all libraries to do with your soul. Now, when you get to the halls of Amenti, which is also an access point between the Great Pyramid and the Great Sphinx, you know, you can access what they call the halls, okay, the halls of Amenti, and you can actually go there and speak to the ascended masters about much bigger, more intense things, right? But that's where you go and meet the big guys, right? But your entry point is through the Sphinx, okay? Now, I am a lover of all of this because Thoth and Anubis, in fact, there's Anubis, Thoth is kind of there. He is the sacred ibis head and Anubis is the jackal. Anubis is the keeper of the secrets, all right? And he is actually from Atlantis, the same as Thoth. And Anubis is the keeper and the guardian of the halls of Amenti. So Thoth, as we know, is deeply connected and the guardian of the Akashic records. So, you know, you can actually access and talk to Thoth, who will take you through, or speak to Anubis, who will take you through. So many different conversations to be had in that way when you access the libraries or you access the halls to speak to the ascended masters. So that's all well and good. So where do we go from there? Where do we take that very, very powerful ancient wisdom and downloads that you get from these beings, from the libraries? What do we do with it? Well, we need to start to bring it into an activation of some sort, which will then create something physical in the world. How do we embody it and allow our downloads, our guidance from these interactions with these powerful guides and these powerful libraries and these powerful records? How do we then bring it into physicality? Well, we need to start to get orderly, right? Because that essentially is all the divine feminine frequency. And it's just like, you know, the idea, the channeling, the perception, all of the above, right? How do we bring it in so we land it into a physical divine masculine template? Well, we need to start to get orderly with it, as I say, because energy likes and needs order. Otherwise, you're just lost in the stars and you've just got all of these aha moments and you know further forward. So this is where my work comes in. I am such a alchemist advocate, as it were, because This is the divine ancient formulas we all hold in our beings. It's not something I'm teaching you that's brand new. It's something you hold within your being. You know the alchemical formulas. You know the 7 hermetic principles that were the teachings of the emerald tablets of light through Thoth and all the rest of it. You are ancient beings. You know this. So you just need a stimulant to help you remember. Okay, so now when you bring it into physical form, okay, when you land it into a template, you need to first of all have the vision. Then you need to actually bring that vision and that idea and that channeled guidance into something physical, right? Okay, so where do we start to land it? Do you need a website? Do you need to start a course? Do you need to change a job, whatever it might be? And then you need to go for the full manifestation of activation, which is intention plus action equals creation. That's when it comes into physical form. That, my dears, is the HEKA codes, okay? HEKA is magic and medicine, but it is not just pinned in Egypt alone. Alchemy is a universal thing. It's just that I'm kind of deeply connected to Egypt and I understand those frequencies and formulas. And I also know how to work with the temples in Egypt to bring this medicine forward to activate those formulas within you. So there's many ways of climbing a tree, my lovelies, many different ways. And some of you might be watching this video and going, well, that actually aligns with the Native American understanding, or that aligns with the ancient, Chinese philosophies, or whatever it might be, because at the end of the day, it's all one. Now, these ancient philosophies that you're getting your download, or rather the channels that you're getting your download on, they all came from the same place. So in the beginning, the tablets of light, okay, from Thoth, okay, he was the one who kind of brought these ancient teachings from Atlantis and probably beyond there, obviously, and brought them through to Kemet, which is Egypt, and then spread it out to all the 4 corners of the world. And all of these traditions, all of these ancient philosophies are all steeped from the same thing. So actually, you might find a different way to go about it than going through the HEKA codes. But either way, this is about you remembering that it's in you, because we were all there from the beginning, right? So this is where we're at. So this is the real bigger picture, but it's now time. Intention, what do you visualize that you want to manifest? Plus action, what are you going to do about it? And then creation, right? Build it and they will come. Now, I am offering up a first time ever, the HEKA Codes group mentorship course, okay? This is usually I do this mentorship one-on-one. It's a series of 3 sessions. And they work with 3 creator gods: Sia, the god of perception; Hu, the god of bringing it into being, breathing. It's god of the word, breathing it into being, speaking it into being. And then HEKA is the 3rd session, which is the massive alchemical activating factor where your idea will now land. That is what I'm talking about having the divine masculine template. HEKA is exactly that. Your idea will land into it. The 2 meet together, union, kaboom, let's move forward and create the new earth. It really is that simple. It really is that simple. So with that, there's nothing else to worry about, because now you just need to get to that 2nd stage of this formula, because you've got the idea. Now you need action, and this is where you go to next. So it's a very powerful time to contemplate what I'm sharing with you now. Not a powerful time to action anything, mind, because of all the planets in retrograde. September is the time for you to actually really move forward with this, with any creations, actually, not just this, what I'm suggesting. So that is why with the HEKA Codes mini mentorship, it's kind of like a small group of 7 initiates only. That is happening on the 9th of the 9th. So 9th of September, we're really flying with the portal codes right now. And that is when I'm going to be holding my group. So you are more than welcome to come and join, as I have 2 spots left. So if you're feeling that you're ready to kind of like action this and get this done and actually see yourself as a manifester in action, there's that word again, I suggest you pop me a message through email and get hold of me that way, and then like book your space. But other than that, this is a very, very powerful time for stillness and reflection. This is the divine feminine rising, like I spoke about in my last video. But this is also a time to actually start thinking about where you're going and what does it look like in the future and how you're going to start putting those steps in motion. So like I say, there is a brand new wave of teacher arising and awakening. And there is so much more available to us right now. You are supported, you are safe, you are ready to go forward and just, action anything that is your heart's desires, and you will actually come out the other side and go, well, bloody hell, that was really easy. So now is the time to start thinking about that. Start thinking about that with your heart brain, not your brain, and then start moving into that space towards, you know, it's about now, September and onwards, because next year you're going to be flying and we're all going to be doing it together. Because let's just finish off on this, that the whole reason we're actually in this movement together is not to endlessly be doing workshops and all these are just tools and things to get you there, because eventually I'm not going to be doing this forever. Eventually I see in a not too distant future a very, very powerful world with us all just sat there, just sharing and being open and basically being in our highest frequencies and just being in the new earth. Abundant, happy, joyful, you know, this time pocket, which actually feels very long to us because we're human. It's just a little click like that. It's only that long. We're only here to basically go through these workshops, teachings, reading books, all of this stuff to just stimulate the memory, because what's going on the bigger picture, massive shifts in the universe, helping you understand and remember exactly who you are, you know. And once you remember who you are, why would you want to do another workshop? Do you think Toth sat there and thought, well, I'm going to go and sign up for another session with that person, or maybe I'm going to go and do I don't know, that course with that person over there, or that being He didn't, because he was Toth and he was Ascended Master, and he knew who he was. So there you go. So I'm going to leave you on that. But otherwise, expect more videos from me, because I am on a roll now. My next one, I'm going to be talking about Joseph Arimathea, who is very much my other side of Toth. I usually have Toth here. Joseph Arimathea, the uncle of Jesus. He is very much a power guide of mine, and he is all about, here's his message, build it and they will come. So watch out for that video, because that's going to be another power one in helping you build it so they can come.